Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am live with my regular weekly card class to go. So every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., I create 3 cards for you. And then with a $60 purchase using my host code, you actually will get the make and take kits to create 2 of each of the cards that I've designed today. And with a $70 order, you also get the embellishment added in as a special thank you. There's also a written PDF that you receive with all of that. So today's card class is featuring the Biggest Wish stamp set. I'm going to zoom into my desktop so that we can take a closer look at that and get started crafting. So here we go. This is actually not a very new stamp set. I've done other classes with this one, but it continues to be a favorite because the sentiments are just, they're bold. I love the script of the smaller ones, and the 2 go together really, really nicely. So I really wanted to feature that, and I just cannot stop playing with these little birds. So because Biggest Wish is just sentiment, I've paired it up with Bird's Eye View that is just image, and they actually go really, really nicely together. I also wanted to let you guys know that if you love this Biggest Wish, starting on September 6th in our new mini catalog, we have the More Wishes stamp set that is the same concept, just with some kind of holiday words in there instead of generic greetings. So really fun. I can't wait to play with this one and to mix and match the 2. They're going to be great together. So that's starting September 6th with our new catalog. If you don't have a new catalog from me yet, please, if you don't have another demonstrator, please contact me so that we can get you a new catalog. If you can pick it up, it's no cost, and then to mail it, it's a small cost. So definitely get in touch with me if you'd like one of those. All right, let's get crafting. Our first card is a birthday card. And just so sweet. Oh, good morning, Kim. Just so sweet. This is a color combo that I don't use very often because I do find Parakeet Party is a very, very bright color. But somehow with the DSP and everything, we've managed to take this really bright Parakeet Party and kind of tone it down. So in your kit, you'll get enough stuff to make 2 cards. I've only got enough in mind just to make 1 because I've already made one of them. And so let's get started. We're going to start with all of our stamping. So you've got kind of a taller piece of basic white cardstock. And we are going to grab that and stamp. So we want to stamp our sentiment first so that we make sure that we have enough room for everything. We can change how our bird sits if we need to. So what I've done is I've put the happy and the birthday on the block together. So I started off by putting my birthday on my block at the bottom, and then I took my happy and I kind of looked for the center. So putting the one side of the H just beyond the I in birthday and the Y over top of the A. That kind of allowed it to be centered. I want that over just a little bit more. There we go. All right. And I put them as close as I could together. So that means I'm not going to have to stamp on my paper and try to line things up on my paper. It's just already lined up and ready to go. So now that does look a little bit dirty though. I'm just going, oh my, it got dry here. My chamois is completely dry. Yikes. Let me see. I think I have, yeah, there we go. A little water spritzer here though. Normally I would go and soak this, but my sink is not super close to me. So I'm just going to spritz that and give it a little clean on there. All right. And just that. Sometimes I find I had these sitting out on my desk. My office gets a little dusty, and then the dust gets on my stamps, and that's not a good thing. All right, so we are now ready to go. Let's make sure that's dry. So I just sprayed water on my card. Whoops. All right, So the ink that we're using for this is actually Granny Apple Green. We're kind of mixing a bunch of different of our brighter greens together today on this card. So let's ink this up. I'm going to take my ink pad to my sentiment. There we go. So that's all inked up, and I love this one because you can truly see that it's inked. And then because you can see through these blocks, I can see to really line that up to stamp that centered and near the bottom of our piece of paper. Awesome. So I'm going to set that off to the side, close up that ink, and I'm going to grab my Memento black ink now. And now I get to have some fun creating the little scene at the top with the bird. So I am going to start with my bird. And I am having him stand on top of the 2 peas in Happy. There we go. Then I'm going to grab his glasses. If you prefer the round ones, you can do those as well. I really like these wide glasses on him though. And then I'm going to take the little monocle and I'm going to use it as a balloon. So I'm going to start with my one that's going straight up. And then we're just going to grab actually a little sticky note, just because I want to mask off an area here, because when I stamp this, the string is going to stamp a little bit in because I want that balloon down a little bit. And then one more way down. All right. So I'm kind of trying to make sure that I'm not getting the balloons through the other strings. So this one can get a little bit tricky to squeeze in. Actually, I guess that's where our balloon's going to go. Being that I got a little bit of ink on there. All right, now I think, yeah, I cut that off a little bit. So we're just going to fix that up with our pen. So I've got, actually I'm going to use the finer tip. I've got my Stampin' Right marker. And now I can just curve that in like that. All right, so not exactly how I had them on my other card, but that's okay. They're going to work out just fine. We've got 3 cute little balloons. Now, before we finish up with that little balloon, I'm actually going to stamp the inside of my card as well. So I'm going to grab the white sheet that's going on the inside. And let's see. Do I want them down at the bottom or up at the top? Maybe have, no, we're going to put them out in the little corner down here. So I'm just going to put 2 down here. Oops, that didn't ink. 2 down here, and let's see, because I can use my pen to lengthen that. Oh, that one didn't ink up well. I don't think I've had enough coffee yet this morning. There we go. And then I'm going to use my pen to finish up that string to make it connect down with the rest of them. There we go. So cute little balloons on the inside of our card. And for the front of our envelope, because I always like to stamp my envelopes as well, I'm actually going to stamp a little sneak peek of that birdie. Just his little head poking in. So not even his whole body, just like that. And I am going to give him his glasses because he's too cute. And with his glasses, there we go. All right, so there's our little bird just kind of poking in. And now we are ready to do some coloring. Sorry, guys. A little bit coffee this morning. Okay, so let's grab all of our bits to color, and we will get started. So our color combo today is a fun one. I have got, I need one more color here. I think that was Granny Apple. There we go. So I've got Granny Apple, Tahitian Tide, Highland Heather, and Pumpkin Pie. So some really fun ones here. So I'm going to start coloring my balloons. And so I start with my dark pumpkin pie, just do a little swirl around the side there, and then finish off just like that. And I'm going to do the same with my Granny Apple. Do a little bit of dark, followed off with a swirl of the light. There we go. And that top balloon is our Highland Heather. So again, a little swirl of dark. And finish it off with the light. There we go. And I can do my 3 balloons on the front in those colors as well. But first of all, I'm going to finish up my little bird. So I'm coming in here with my dark Tahitian Tide. I am going to go over all the little lines. Actually, I'm going to do his whole wing dark. There we go. And then his whole body, I'm going to do light. I've been using this one so much that I might have to actually replace it. It's getting a little dry. I created all of my classroom name tags, and a lot of the birds were Tahitian Tide. Okay, one more bird for me. There we go. All right, now I'm going to go back in and just go over some of these markings again in our dark, just to really accent them. There we go. And we'll do our one on our envelope as well. There. Yes, school is soon. I actually popped in yesterday. I took one of my sons to do some heavy lifting for me, move some furniture and carry in some books and stuff. And I will go back maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. We'll see how I'm feeling, and get the last little bits of things set up for next week. And then school officially starts on Tuesday. So before I finish coloring anything, I'll just go grab my name tags. They turned out so well. So I'm so excited to put these onto the desks in my classroom. So all the book sets are different colors and different colored birds, and they're just so sweet. And I decided to go with just regular glasses, not sunglasses, and then I'll let the kids color them in and make them sunglasses if they want. So just so adorable. I really like that one with like the rainbow stack of books and everything. So cute. So yeah, lots and lots of fun little pictures here. Oh, and there's one with the sunglasses. That'll be for my desk. So yeah, they can color in their own sunglasses if that's what they want. All right, so we've got that done. We'll just get these balloons done. So let's see, a little bit of purple, Highland Heather, seeing that. Okay, a little bit. Oh, thanks, Kim. Yeah, they are. They're pretty sweet. And it's nice because most years we actually, as a primary group, we do a little study on birds every year, usually owls. And I think this year we're incorporating the bats in there as well. And just kind of fun for Halloween. So it'll be a great way to start off the school year and be kind of related to our theme. All right, so now that we have all of our bits stamped and colored, we're going to put our card together. So I've got my Parakeet Party card base. I'm going to grab my glue stick, And I'm going to glue these cute little balloons to the inside of my card base. There we go. So just a really fun way to brighten up the inside of that card. And there we go. All right, now for this front piece, it looks like I've used a whole sheet of DSP, basically, like a 4x4 stretch of DSP there, but I actually didn't. I really don't like overusing my DSPs because I really like my DSPs. So what I've done here is I've just cut 2 little strips. You could have actually even made these just 1 inch, but I wanted to really make sure that you couldn't see that it wasn't a whole sheet. So I did mine, I think, at 1.5, maybe it's 1.25. So what we're going to do is take one of them and glue it down. And so to do this, I actually like to use my grid paper. Hopefully this isn't off. So 8 inches, there we go. So I just line that up. And then I can use my grid paper to get that centered and right out to the edges. And then I can just turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. Oh, that is off the screen for you guys. Sorry. So here, I'll show you this. Oh, here, I'm just going to see if I can push that up. No, I can't. All right, I'll do markings on here. So that's the other option. So I've just put this so that I've got it centered. And then I'm just going to put markings on my paper. Oops, don't move it out of the way. Put markings on my paper as to where those get lined up. So then, and actually I should mark my outsides as well. So you can see it's basically 2 squares in from the outside. So when I turn that around, put some glue on the back of here. And then I can line these up in those same spots, right up against the edge. There we go. So now it's going to look like one piece of DSP when we put everything together. Right, now this piece gets glued down to our Tahitian tied layer. Just like that. And so it's a pretty thin border. There we go. And then this is going to go on with dimensionals. Oh, it's a little bit, I didn't cut this quite enough. Oh well, it'll still work. So let's grab my dimensionals. Oh, apparently I didn't leave any at my desk. I just had a class the other day and I left them all over there. All right. Yeah, so just grab a pack here. And here we go. So this gets dimensionals on the back. And I am going to do some along the side as well because this is a pretty tall piece, so just up and down, I'll do some as well. So peel all those backings off. There we go. And pop that onto the card front. There we go. And then finally, we are going to use the ombre matte dots, which I have somewhere. Oh, right in front of me. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining. So we're going to use our ombre matte decorative dots and put some on here. So you can go ahead and use any colors that work for you. I'm just going to grab these guys and I'm going to keep with the green. It's a very green card. And no, that's not the one. So these are ombre, so they do, oh yeah, that is the one. They do change their shading just a little bit. There we go. And that card is all done. So that's our first card in, oh, I forgot his nose. Oh my goodness. So you're just going to grab your light pumpkin pie. And you're going to do his nose and his feet. There we go. Now he's finished. All right, so that's our first card in this week's Biggest Wish card class. And so those big, bold sentiments, they make just a great, great focal point for a card. Make a great place to stand a little bird or some other little critter, and really, really nice and bold. All right, our next card, I just absolutely adore. This one is a little birthday rainbow card, but it's also got a little flip feature in it. So that front panel flips like that. So really, really super fun to create these flip cards. And so I'm going to show you how we do that. So we've got this, and when you get your packet, here, I'll just show you the packet that would get sent out to you. When you get your packet, it's going to have an extra little cut in it. So don't worry, the cut I'm about to show you, you don't need to have the dies to do it, although you're going to want them. If you don't already have the stylus shaped dies, you're going to want these. So what I've got here is I've got a card base, thick basic white card base, and I'm going to take the largest stylus shaped circle, and we're going to have some fun cutting it. Oh, thanks for watching. So I have got this, and I'm going to put it down on here, and we're going to die cut this. Now, I keep my mini machine here at my crafting table. So I'm going to have to go grab my big machine and bring it over to show you how we do this cut. Sorry, this guy doesn't entirely fit in my screen, but I'm going to show you guys the important part. So we're going to take just a normal sandwich that you would use for cutting. We're going to get our platform here. And we're going to lay this down, but kind of as far out to the end as you can. I am going to center that circle on our front panel with that crease down the center. And then I'm going to bring our top plate in, and I'm going to line it up with that crease. And now I'm going to run it through my machine. So I'm really not cutting my whole circle. I'm just cutting to that fold. Hopefully that went all the way. Yep. Okay. Perfect. So then we'll pull this out. I'm going to move this big machine out of the way. And so you can see there with that circle on there, and we just cut to the score line. It has created a cut that only goes to the score line. Okay, so that's how we create that flip piece. Thanks, Kim. It's not an original idea. I have seen this done online, but I just loved it, and so wanted to share it with you. Now, I am going to go and cut this extra piece off, though, because you don't have to cut it off very perfectly, but I want most of it gone, because it makes it very thick if I leave that piece on. We end up with 3 layers of cardstock, and it looks just a little bit bulky. So by cutting that away, we lose some of the bulk. All right, next thing we're going to do is actually do our stamping. Now, darn it, I actually should have done that before I cut that circle off, but that's okay. So I'm going to grab my thanks. So I have just the word thanks here. And oh, I should get my chamois cleaned up because we're actually going to need it a lot. So I'll be right back with my chamois. Sorry, guys. I'm not entirely prepared for this class. We were away camping and had a bit of a like a chaotic time coming back, and then straight into work yesterday, and I don't know, it's just been a little bit nuts around here. So my chamois all dried out, but I've got it mostly redone here. So I've got that ready because we will need it a lot on this card. All right, I am going to start actually at the bottom of my card with my Highland Heather ink, and I'm going to stamp my thanks down at the bottom first. So centering it. Oh, let's make sure I'm on the screen for you guys. So centering it and stamping thanks. Oh, and apparently I have something all over my stamp that created it to look a little funny. That's weird. Darn it. Okay. Well, hopefully that came off. Oh well. Still looks kind of cute. And after that, we're going to do our granny apple. So I just cleaned up my stamp. And now we'll do it in granny apple. And hopefully I don't get those weird marks again. And so I'm just lining it up straight above and using the bottom of that thanks or the top of the thanks to line up the bottom of the next one. And then clean it off and grab our next color, which is crushed curry. Yeah, and mine aren't that young, actually. They're teens. I've even got one who's graduated. But life is just really busy. We're trying to, get in the last little bits of summer activity. We went off-roading, and it was just chaotic because we left camp and we blew a tire, but we weren't in cell service. And so then it took a very long time to get to cell service and get some help and get a tow truck and get a ride. And, getting a ride for 6 people is not always easy. Lots of people don't have a vehicle that can accommodate us. So there was that chaos. And so it was like 2:30 in the morning before we got back. And then I went into work the next morning. And it's just, a little crazy. But camping was awesome. The kids built a raft and anchored it out in the bay. And oh my gosh, they just had like the best time. All right. And then we're going to use sweet sorbet for our last thanks here at the top. So just like that. And thanks. There. So we've got that whole row of thanks coming down the side of our card. Oh yeah, it's always an adventure. It seems like every time we go without the kids, we have no problems. And when we go with the kids, something happens. We've blown an engine before. This time we blew a tire. It's all good. It's all part of the adventure. But it made for a very, very late night or morning. I don't know. And then the whole while the thunderstorm was happening and everything. And I was just thinking, thank goodness we weren't still at camp. All right. So with that all stamped on our card, I'm actually going to fold it up and we're going to put some adhesive in just this little half circle. So you could use liquid glue, or because I'm just feeling like I haven't had enough coffee. Glue might be bad today. I'm going to use some Seal Plus. And then I'm going to take one of these Orchid Oasis circles that I've cut and pop it in there so that it goes right into that frame. All right, so now that's our front frame there. Okay, then I'm going to grab my other Orchid Oasis circle, and I'm actually going to put adhesive all over that entire circle. Okay, so normally I would use liquid glue, but today I'm just feeling a little jittery and off. Okay, so now I'm going to line that up with the circle so that it's like that. So we've got now that full circle. So you can see if we hadn't cut off that extra piece, we'd have a thin layer of white in the center there and it would be quite thick. So that's why we trimmed off that extra bit so that we could have kind of a tapered, thinner circle happening. So now we have our flip element created. Love it. All right. Now we get to do some more stamping and some more decorating. I'm going to take one of my white circles and the inside of my card here, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with, oh, hello. It just says Facebook user, so I'm not sure who's just joined, but thanks for joining. So I'm going to take these little leaves from our bird's eye view stamp set, and I'm going to stamp some up there. I am going to stamp one onto my little circle that we're actually going to glue in there. And then I'm going to create like a little jungle base here. And I'm going to stamp a whole bunch along the bottom of our card. Okay, just like that. There we go. So we've got that going on. And actually, I'm going to grab my envelope while we're at it. Envelope somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to stamp the edge of my envelope with my little leaves as well. There we go. Just a few more along the edge of this. Oops. There we go. Good enough. All right, so now our envelope has that nice little greenery border. So that is all decorated. Put that one away, put that away. And now we're going to take our last white circle and we're going to stamp our sentiment on there. So I would like my Memento black ink and my thanks. And I'm going to come down as low as I can. I'm looking at the bottom of the S and the bottom of the T and stamping those down as low as I can. That's going to give me as much space as possible to stamp my little owl. He's so cute. And then I'm going to tuck him right in between the H and the K. And I'm going to make sure his head stays on my circle. His wings don't touch the letters and his feet go down in the middle. Finally, we're going to give him some glasses. There we go. All right, so thanks. And then we're going to color him with some of our colors that we had from before. So his little belly is going to be Highland Heather. I'm going to go over those little ruffles on his chest with the dark Highland Heather. And then do his belly in light Highland Heather. There. And actually I might just go over his ruffles one more time with my dark. There we go. All right. His nose and legs are going to get just a little bit of light pumpkin pie. And then his body, if they're going to cooperate with me, will get our Tahitian Tide. But we'll see. Might have to do them all in dark Tahitian Tide because my light might be done. We'll give it a try. So I'm doing his wings in dark anyways, and his little tuft at the top. And then we'll see if I have enough light. Oh yeah, there we go. So then we're going to color in his body with the light Tahitian Tide. So I find as my pens start to dry out, if they're too dry for the paintbrush end, you can often still use the fine tip end and get a nice solid color happening. All right, And then, even though these are dark, I'm going to go over them again with dark to accent those little bits. So we really get lots of shades of the Tahitian tide in here. All right. So cute. Okay, so he is all done, and now we can glue these last two bits on. I am actually going to use liquid glue for this just because it's fast and easy. So I'm going to just run a bead of liquid glue around there. I would like this leaf to be coming down from the top, so I'll arrange it that way. And I'm just going to center that on there, but that leaves us a little spot to write. If we want, we can also write here, of course, but if you write there, then it's guaranteed not to show when your card is closed. And then we're going to take this guy, little bead of glue on the back of there. And now this one, we want to line them up so that the thanks is straight, and so is he. There we go. All right. And then our final step on this card is to add some of our ombre dots. And for this one, I used the pool party dots. And so I'll just throw a few in here. And I kind of went crazy with them. I kind of put them all over the place. So I used a bunch on the front circle, but then I also went and put some down here onto the actual card base, because those aren't going to get closed inside. Our card doesn't close over top of those. So then there's a few on the inside as well. So there's our finished flip card. So that is our second card in this week's card class to go, our biggest wish card class. Put those off to the side. And our last card is definitely a back to school card. This one, well, both of these will be given away this week, because takes a lot to get a school year up and running. A lot of support from colleagues, and yeah, it's good to be back in the building and seeing people. And yeah, so we've got a crushed curry base here with a crushed curry layer. And we are going to start stamping on there in a crushed curry. So let's grab that. And I'm going to grab the little books from our Bird's Eye View stamp set. And I like to do my books so that the edge of the book is flat and then the pages kind of go back. So we're just going to stamp these kind of all over the place. Okay, and then I am kind of like laying them like bricks, so offsetting them. You could do these more random or less random or in straight lines, however you'd like. I like the layered brick look. There we go. So now we're not quite done with that crushed curry book. That's our background. We're going to grab a stack for the inside of our card as well. And somewhere we have an envelope. We're going to grab a stack of books for our envelope as well. All right, now we're done with them. We're going to put away that, actually, no, we can't put away that crushed curry, sorry. We're going to grab our little stylish shaped square and our word thanks. I'm going to make sure that this got cleaned because it was last sitting in some sweet sorbet. Oh, the tone on tone is awesome, eh? All right, now we're going to take this thanks in crushed curry, and I want to stamp it just above half. Okay, so not fully halfway down, but just above. That might be a little high. Oh well. C'est la vie. And then I'm going to grab the word friend and my pumpkin pie. I'm actually starting to think it was probably Calypso Coral, not pumpkin pie all along with all of these, but whichever. I'm going to use pumpkin pie. Started with it, I'll finish with it. Who knows? And when I stamp this, I want the friend to overlap the thanks, but I don't want the small letters like the R-I-E-N to overlap. They could become hard to read. So just the tall ones overlapping. And that is what we're going to stamp there. And that was our pumpkin pie. Okay. Now we just get to start putting this all together. I am going to grab that tone on tone layer. I have a piece of black and white gingham ribbon here. And I'm just going to wrap that around and tie a knot on the right hand side. Now, if you wrap it around and to get 2 equal pieces, that knot's not going to be on the right hand side, don't worry about it. Just tie your knot and then we can swoosh it back and forth to wherever you want it. Mine actually ended up where I wanted it, so we're good. But you can just slide that around because it's not adhered to anything. All right, and then I'm going to make 2 little bunny ears. Wrap them around each other, and voila, and there is my bow. Okie dokie. So with that done, I'm going to grab my scissors and we're just going to trim up those ends. So we have a cute little bow, with tidy little ends. All right, now that whole layer is going to get glued straight down to our card front. So we just want to make sure that ribbon is as straight as we would like it. Then we're going to grab our glue. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could put this on with dimensionals for sure. But I'm just going to use glue for this. Glue this straight to our card front. Just like that. And then I'm going to take this piece that we stamped the book on and glue that to the inside. Ready. And then finally, we will use dimensionals for our sentiment. Getting better with the bunny ears. You know what? It's one of those things. I guess I learned it as a kid for tying my shoes. And so it's just the easiest way for me to tie a bow. But yeah, really, when it comes to bow tying of any kind, practice, practice, practice. All right. Then I've got those with dimensionals. I'm just going to put that so that the friend kind of lines up with my ribbon. And then I'm going to grab these ombre dots again. And we have the Calypso Coral ones on here. I'm going to kind of use the lighter toned ones just because I didn't actually use Calypso Coral ink. I used Pumpkin Pie. Oh well. And pop those on. And voila, we are finished our 3rd card. So that is card number 3. Nice, really back to school. You know, you could change out the word friend and just do thanks, or make this a hello card or something. Lots of options there. There's another thanks, but again, you could change this one to a hello. The happy birthday one would be a bit tough because it wouldn't quite fit, but hello would fit on there, or just all happy, happy, happy. And then you could stamp birthday on the inside. So lots of ways to change these up, mix and match the sentiments and make them work for the occasion that you need. So that is the Biggest Wish card class to go. And this one's available until September 3rd, Sunday night. Any orders $60 or more placed with me will get you the make and take kits for this. And if you place a $70 order, you'll actually get a full pack of the ombre matte dots as well. And I didn't use them, but we have the nice Night of Navy ones in there as well. They're gorgeous. So that is this week's card class to go. Thanks so much for joining me. And I will be back next week, next Wednesday, because even though school started, I don't work in the classroom on Wednesday. So I'll be back next Wednesday with another card class to go for you and with a whole bunch of new product to show you, because next Wednesday is actually the first day of our new catalog. Oh, now that reminds me, today is the last day of our August kit sales as well. So if there's any of our kits that you've seen that you love, or if you haven't seen them, go to the website and check out the kits collection, because today's the last day and most of them are 30% off. So some smoking deals on kits, lots of Christmas cards and Christmas tags, as well as other occasions. And they're just really fun, easy stamping. So yeah, enjoy that. Oh yeah, definitely watch the replay. And yeah, everybody have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next Wednesday with a new catalog and a new card class. In the meantime, feel free to message me if you have questions about this one, or place an order using the host code in the link to get the make and takes for this. Bye everyone.